welcome to Pugwatch episode 5 with me, Metroid 2K. Today's instance run is the Oculus, and we'll be tanking it on Meatshiéld again. Main reason for this is I quite enjoyed warrior tanking the first time, and I've decided to give it another try. Now, most people will know Oculus is not the favourite one for a lot of people, but surprisingly the Dungeon Finder group didn't immediately all run away, so this run progressed quite well already. For those of you who aren't too familiar with Oculus or haven't been playing Warcraft for the last couple of months, it's been nerfed quite heavily, and there now is a chance to get an Azure Drake from the end boss as well if you beat it in under 20 minutes. Now, this was added and a lot of packs were removed and a whole host of changes were made because this was pretty much just the least favourite dungeon for everybody, mainly because of the Drakes. I'm not a big fan of them myself, I must admit. Now, you've probably noticed already I have a lot of trouble picking up the whelplings and that here. On a paladin I find it very easy. I slap it with my shield, Avenger's shield, and I laugh. With a warrior you can spell reflect on occasion. As you notice, I do cycle spell reflect up every so often just to hope that they bounce back, but a lot of the time I spend running around hitting them and trying to drag them off other people. No one really complained at this point though, so it's not a problem. Now, one thing about this instance is the three drakes. You've got the green one, the red one, and the yellow one. Now, I can understand people like to do the experienced Drake Rider achievement, but as you'll see in a minute, not communicating that is really irritating. Now, we take this guy down, no problems. Everyone clusters in on him and just blows him up. I must admit, it's probably the easiest boss in this instance, actually. There you go. Down he goes. Right, now the Drakes. Someone says Atch here is in achievement, and I asked for clarification. I said, what do you mean? And then they just said, don't worry. So I was like, fair enough. Obviously no one's that fussed on getting the Drake Rider or whatever. I, being the tank, go for the red one. The DPS, being DPS, should go for the yellow one. And the healer should go for the green one. Now, this is where our friend Mr. Death Knight decides that he's not going to communicate. He's also just going to take a green Drake. And the healer spots us and goes, hang on, we've got two of us on green Drakes. Now, rather than Death Knight saying, oh, I wanted to get the achievement, he gets all arsey with me when I say, like, why have you done that? In fact, I think someone else, yeah, experienced rider. I just say something along the lines of, it would have been nice if you communicated that with us. And he goes, oh, well, if we're going to fail, blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, no, that wasn't my point. My point was, you didn't communicate it to the group. You didn't say, I'd like to do experienced Drake Rider, may I have the green Drake? I mean, the healer doesn't mind. I did say the healer here, and this is possibly a reason for a mix-up later on, is I said to the healer, just go and change, sort of once we finish this section. Oh, in fact, I didn't. That might have been why. I kind of the healer went to swap while we were in combat. You'll see in a second, and I die. I purely should have said, go once we finish this section. I didn't, and we all die. But I mean, surely common sense. We're running around. I don't really stop and wait for anybody. I just charge on round. Again, I'm being a bad tank here. I should have stopped and checked. I couldn't see in the UI that she's mounted up, and it didn't even occur to me. I must admit, to me, I wouldn't have bothered topping it until you'd mounted up to do the next part, until you'd finished this part, but I guess it doesn't work like that for some people, and I die. Now, the grey screen isn't my death effect, it's a little touch-up I was doing with Premiere Pro to improve my skills and transitions and things like that, and I think it worked quite well. But yes, you will also notice I have the Bejeweled add-on set to pop up when I die. Not on purpose, it's just I forgot to turn it off on this account, honest. Anyway, healer comes back, no one really says much more about that. And resurrection. I am alive. So we will continue through these. I keep losing control of a lot of packs here. I'm pretty much cycling cleave in every other button press. I don't use heroic strike actually, I've been told off for that. Apparently I should use more heroic strike, purely because it generates additional threat, which I didn't know. I just assumed it was pretty much a rage dump. It is a rage dump, but it also generates additional threat, so therefore it's a useful rage dump rather than just a rage dump. And yeah, the healer then realises that she's picked up the red one, not the yellow one, which wouldn't be too bad, but they're colour coordinated. They even say, I'd wish to fly on the rings of the ruby drake, the bronze drake, or the green drake. I think it's emerald. So anyway, healer goes to swap over in a minute. I kill these things off. I must admit, I really hate these flying drakes because they tend to aggro you when you go to land. You can be fine coming up to the platform, you can land, and then, oh look, Drake on my face. Definitely not the most fun part of this instance. That's what instances are all about, usually, is fun, although I must admit, I miss, I'm going to say this, I miss TBC instances, I miss the Alcatraz, I miss Shattered Halls. They were hard instances, but they were fun. Everything nowadays is just AoE. Oh, hang on, he just got aggro. Vehicle sections in an instance, good idea if they hadn't been flying. I think if they'd been like Alduar's vehicle section, fantastically done. I love Flame the Leviathan. Brilliant section. If they'd been ground based, I think this would have been better. Because they're flying, it just gives people too much freedom, and they're not exactly amazing, the Drakes. They've got like 3 abilities and you just end up spamming them. I mean, granted, all the vehicles in Alduar only have like 2 abilities and that, but kind of, it's enjoyable. It's a tank or it's a motorbike, whereas here it's just a dragon. I have a dragon for flying around normally. What's so special about these ones? And also the bosses are a pain in the ass to fight. Why can't I just stand on the platform and punch it in the face? Oh well. Now this guy coming up is Pharos Cloudstrider, if memory serves. I can never remember his name. He's a loot pinata, much like a lot of other bosses these days. Now one thing I do wrong here actually is, you'll see in a minute, I move out of the purple arc so I don't electrocute myself. Move out of that again. DPS keeps standing behind him. I get fired, and I do run around a bit actually. It's not this run then. I did a run where I got on fire while I was tanking, and I kind of dragged the boss all the way around the platform. If you get shot with the laser while you're tanking, just stand there and eat it. You can't run around because you'll end up either A, burning everybody else, or B, dragging the boss everywhere, which irritates people. Now, Mage Lord Urom here, is pretty much, you hit him, trigger off the phase, kill everything. I couldn't really hold aggro that well here. It's pretty much run in, thunderclap, cleave, and just try and keep them off the healer. Again, I find this part so boring. Why does he do this? There's no real reason for him to do it. He's channeling something, and what's he channeling, and why is he channeling it, and why does he teleport? What's the point? There we go, slapped him down again, get back on the Drake, fly across the 3rd platform. I can understand it maybe once, or even if we could run between the platforms, we have to mount up, run over to him, dismount, run around again. Punch him again, grab all his friends. This is probably the hardest part, is picking all these up before everybody else does. No, as you notice, no one gives me a split second to grab any aggro, they just immediately start AoEing. Cataclysm. Why crowd control when you can kill it instead? Someone said to me, why turn it into a sheep when you can turn it into a corpse just as quickly? Now, Mage Lord Urom here throws a frost grenade every so often that you have to pull out of, or you're meant to pull out of. The healer actually just told me eventually to just stand still, because they could heal through it, which would have been nice if they'd said at the start, but I guess most healers are used to overgeared tanks, or have ridiculously high healing abilities and expect everybody to know that they've got ridiculously high healing abilities. Right, Malygos. Not Malygos, sorry, I can never remember this guy's name. Call him Malygos Jr. to save myself the effort of looking it up. And someone else managed to get aggro from a Drake. Yay. Now, those of you who have done this fight will know already that it's pretty much you shoot him to build up your evasive maneuvers charges, you then use Martyr, you then use evasive maneuvers so no one else takes any damage, and you just pretty much keep spamming him. Use the time slot whenever he goes to do his enrage or his phase shift or whatever, and just keep shooting him again. I must admit, I've never actually done this fight on a DPS Drake. I'm either healing or I'm either tanking, so I've got no idea how the DPS are meant to work on this one. I might try the DPS one day. All I know is that they've got a time slot that they're meant to do at the right moment in time. Usually useful enough for me to catch all the little drakes with the laser beam from the red drake. As you notice here, there's one running towards me and I nearly got caught by the blast as well. There you go, and he's back once more. Shoot him in the face. And down he goes. And I got an achievement to make it count on. This is the first time this has been done on the Meatshiéld character. which I didn't know. And some nice DPS gloves here dropped, so I said can I have them for the off-spec, Meatshield's off-spec, which is Fury Warrior. And they were pretty much, yeah, if you want it, you want it, which to me is fine. I don't really mind about that. I checked the bag quickly just in case. Extra badge, but no Drake. Which was a shame. I would have liked Drake. Well, I suppose it would have gone to Meatshiéld anyway, so yeah, I'm glad I didn't get that. It's mine. I need to run this some more actually and try and get it for myself. Well, anyway, with that run, must admit the group, bit of a rocky start, but we got there in the end, so I'm going to go with a 7 out of 10 this time round. Main complaints were the Death Knight being a bit of an asshat about pretty much just about picking the wrong Drake. It wouldn't have taken 30 seconds to type, "Hi, I'd like to do this achievement, can I have the green Drake?" Simple as that. I'd imagine the healer wouldn't have minded. Heck, I would have let the healer tank if he wanted to. I'd quite happily swap roles, it doesn't bother me. The healer disappearing in the middle of the section, a little bit of common sense. When you see the tank is still running towards mobs, then maybe not mount up and fly off, but also partially my fault for not looking at the healer and realising, oh, she's mounted up to fly off, I should wait. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, and I didn't get an Azure Drake as well, which was disappointing. But yeah, other than that, fairly decent run, so yeah, 7 out of 10. My name is Meatshiéld2K, and this has been Pugwatch. Thank you for watching.